the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman, the Trayvon Martin killing, the George Zimmerman trial still echoing in the media, the stand your ground laws in 31 states, and in some states they don't even call them that, but they're basically the same thing. It's getting weird out there. In the last week, the Daily Kos has a running total of it. I should have brought it up. Every week they do. There was a couple of 2-year-olds, a couple of 3-year-olds, a half a dozen 4 or 5-year-olds. Altogether a couple dozen kids who were killed by accidental discharge, or kids playing with firearms at home. Not so much, crimes stopped by anybody, at least that we know about. But Bill Frady is with us. He's the host of Lock and Load Radio, presented by Gun Owners of America. The website is lockandloadradio.com. Hey, Bill.
Tom, how are you?
I am fine. So what are your listeners saying about stand your ground, shoot first laws? And also about this group that is sending $12,000 to George Zimmerman to go out and buy some guns.
Well, we at Gun Owners of America offered to get him a gun.
Uh-huh. Why would you do that?
Well, because he does have a lot of death threats against him for being exonerated, and he is not on a prohibited list.
This is a guy who's assaulted an armed police officer and was arrested for it. This is a guy whose girlfriend took out a restraining order against him. Has a history of violence. And you want to give him a gun? And by the way, I forgot, he murdered a 17-year-old, or he killed a 17-year-old.
And how did that shooting...
Well,
that
Bill, you don't know, and I don't know. We just know that he got out of his car with a gun, and the 17-year-old who was committing no crime is now dead.
Do you know who Roderick Scott is?
No.
Roderick Scott is a black American male who shot an unarmed 17-year-old white person that was running at him to attack him. And he also was exonerated for that shooting.
Oh, my. He must be the exception that proves the rule.
Oh, no, in Florida.
But, Bill, you haven't answered my question. Why do you want to give a gun to a guy with a history of violence who's already killed one human being and has had and has attacked an armed police officer and been arrested for it and had a restraining order taken out against him by his girlfriend? I get it. His dad's a judge and he apparently gets good treatment in that county.
I haven't heard about the other two things, but I do know that he was exonerated for that. Apparently, in the state of Florida, he was legally carrying a gun. He had a concealed carry permit. Yeah. I think they would have taken his past transgressions like they do everywhere else into.
No, they were ruled inadmissible because they did not involve convictions for a crime. When he assaulted the police officer, ultimately his daddy, the judge, stepped in and they resolved that case without charges. And when his girlfriend had the restraining order against him, ultimately that dissolved when he moved away and the girlfriend moved away or whatever.
Okay, so he also has a history of philanthropy. He's worked with underprivileged people. He just rescued somebody from an overturned vehicle.
Yeah, after his good friend, a police officer, called him from the scene. You're really going to pull that one out, Bill?
What does it matter?
Well, I think I think the larger issue here is not George Zimmerman. I'll agree with you on that, Bill. I think the larger issue here is, and this gets back to my question about why do you want to give this guy a gun? Why would you want to give anybody a gun? We have the most guns per capita in the world, and we have the most homicides by gun per capita in the world. Surprise, surprise. Isn't it time to do something about this instead of kowtowing to the manufacturers of weapons?
Well, we don't kowtow to the manufacturers of weapons. In fact,
no, you just do their work for them.
In fact, if you were to look at where most of these crimes happen, most of them occur in 3% of the counties where they have heavy gun restrictions.
Right, and where you have a very, very high levels of poverty. This is Bill O'Reilly going off on his racist rant. If you look at poverty rather than race, you can simply exchange those terms. When you have high levels of poverty, you're going to have high levels of unemployment. You're going to have high levels of single motherdom. In fact, because poverty's gotten so bad in the white community, the white single motherdom level right now is about equal to that of black single mothers. But Bill O'Reilly somehow missed that fact. And when you look at violence, the poorer somebody is, and particularly the poorer they were born, the family they were born into, the more likely they are to end up at some point in their life convicted of a violent crime. Why don't we do something about violence instead of people? Your perception is not enough people own guns. My perception is we've got too much poverty in this country.
Well, see, right now you're telling me what my perception is, which I don't really know.
Okay, what is your perception then, Bill?
What I know is that where they have a lot of heavy gun restriction, they also have a lot of liberal policies in place. And that, yes, there are a lot of poor people there, but why are they not surrounded by crime in the urban areas where they have so many guns if guns are the problem?
Because the urban areas are not poor.
Why is it that, while you're out there talking about murder per capita, what is our murder rate per 100,000, Tom?
I'm telling you, you are not seeing those murders.
What is our murder rate per 100,000, Tom?
I don't know off the top of my head, Bill. I'm guessing you do. This is your business.
4.7.
Okay.
It's 4.7, which is about average.
And what is it in France?
It is lower than it is in Europe. But in Europe, for example, in England, where they barely have guns at all, you have 2,034 violent crimes per 100,000, where we have 412. Does it matter to you if you're out there walking around, no matter what your political persuasion is, or no matter however you may look, if somebody comes at you to beat you with a brick, does that matter to you? Do they have the moral high ground? They're not using a gun.
Are you suggesting? Well, actually, I know you're suggesting this, that we should have more guns in America, right? We'll have less crime if we have more guns?
If you are not on a prohibited persons list, you certainly shouldn't be restricted from it. But if based upon your theory that you're putting forth here,
my theory is that poverty is the thing that drives violence, and that having guns available increases the probability that violence will be lethal. If you look at the statistics in England, you got a lot of violence in England. You have very few gun killings in England compared to the United States. Why? Because they don't have guns.
With a club?
Yeah, I'd much rather get hit with a club than shot with a gun. Sure.
You're being sort of disingenuous.
No, I'm not.
To death takes a long time. I would rather be in a position to fight back. I don't want to be in a position to just take it. But if your theory about more guns is valid, we should be awash in blood, which we're not.
Then we're not as well. Who defines awash in blood? I think we've had more people die since George Zimmerman killed Trayvon Martin than died in 9/11. 2 or 3 times more people than died on 9/11. That's not awash in blood.
Where are they dying?
No, they're dying at the end of a barrel of a gun, dying from bullets.
Are they dying in the 3% of the counties that I mentioned earlier?
Does it matter?
Yeah, it does matter, because if they're out there...
Oh, because those are poor counties. To hell with them.
No, I think everybody out there...
They're minority counties. To hell with them.
No, absolutely. You know what? I believe that self-defense is an equal opportunity sort of concept. I served in the military where I got to learn exactly...
Bill, I'm going to leave you with that as the last word. Thank you, Bill.